Welcome back to the Hooptie Joyride, where we scour the internet looking for funky and junky rides for you or us to take home. This week, we decide the answer to the question, are two heads better than one? Let's get to it.
Hooptie Joyride with Brian and Steve, all right.
Hooptie Empire, welcome back. This is another great week for you. We've got some really, really interesting stuff, don't we, Collector?
We sure do. We're not sure if we're coming or going, but we have some pretty cool stuff to show you this week.
Hopefully our viewers can tell us whether we're coming or going. That would be fun.
Yep.
All right. Why don't we just jump right in? Let's kick it off. I've got a few rides to share, and then my personal pick of the week. I think you've got the same.
Yep. Let's rotate back and forth between us.
All right. We'll alternate. Just as a reminder, if you're new to the show, one, thanks for being here and playing along with us. What we do every week is we select what we think are interesting, cool rides that we may want to add to our own collections or purchase and see what we can do with them. We set ourselves a budget of $5,000, and that's all in. That's purchase price. That's fix up. That's whatever you need to get it on the road and operational. So we try and stick within that limit just to show what's available of the funky and junky stuff that's out there. So I'll kick it off. How's that?
Let's go, dreamer.
All right. I'm definitely dreaming. This week, my first dream of the day is a 38. I'm doing it again. I'm not sharing.
You're not sharing.
Every week. What is wrong with this guy?
Cheap help.
That's true. You get what you pay for.
Yep.
This week, my first dream is a 38 Ford sedan coming from Cedartown, Georgia, a little bit west of Atlanta, almost to the border. It's a bit high on the budget level, $3,500 purchase price, which also will come into play for me anyway. But for me, it looks like it's relatively complete. It's got a set of big and littles on it. Body seems to be in solid shape and some sort of black primer. Hooptie approved, got the license plate already, so that's great. Looks like it's missing glass, so that's a decision that needs to be factored in. But overall, seems to be together. It rolls. Clearly doesn't have a motor or transmission. The interior has been completed. Looks like it's got gauges that are ready to wire up, so that's good. So it needs a little bit of additional work. I got about $1,500 left of that budget that we talked about. For me, I'm looking for a Thunderbird, an F-150, a van, something I can grab that has a running motor, transmission that hopefully works. And I'm going to use that as a donor vehicle. I did find one just over the northern border in South Carolina, F-150 for about $950. That one doesn't run, so I'm gambling a little bit with my money, but done it before. I know we can find a running ride with a Ford drivetrain for under $1,000. So that leaves a little bit of wiggle room for any odds and ends that I might need. So that's my first dream. That's what I'm looking at. What do you think, Collector? What do you think of my rat rod?
Well, I think, with your past experience doing a 51 Mercury with the Thunderbird transplant in it.
Yep.
I think you're onto something. Could be an interesting ride.
Yeah, be kind of fun to drive around in. I was going to say cool and fun. It ended up with full, so maybe that's what I would be as well. But seems like it would be something cool. The glass, maybe you're just doing Lexan or something else to keep it under budget, or trying to junkyard source glass over time for something like this. Although rat rods, I don't think they generally have glass, right? So that's just drive it as ratty as you can.
There you go.
Cool.
Put some goggles on and move on. Bugs out.
Yeah, try to keep the bugs out of my teeth again this week. All right, I think you're up with your first pick.
All right, so my first pick, 1979 MG Midget, coming to us from Vineland, New Jersey.
The Pine Barrens.
Yeah, pretty low on the budget. It's only $1,000. The reason being is there is no title and the description just says no title, and no title. Says it's a complete car, so we don't know a whole lot about it other than there's no title for $1,000. So it's got an interesting scoop on that front hood for a little 4-cylinder.
It needs all the air.
Yes, they took out the front bumper, which would cover up that grill area there too. So they're force feeding the air into that little 1500cc motor.
Giving it all the beans, giving it everything she's got.
Yep. So the side view, it does look like the front hood is a little bent there. But it comes with the mini light wheels, a hard top on it, a couple desirable things for the MG. And then when we get to the motor, you'll see it looks like it has a aftermarket Weber carb on it. Luggage rack on the back. Never had an MG Midget. I have a B I've had for 30 some years. Very fun car. So what would I do with the remaining $4,000 budget? Obviously the big thing for me is, you got to come up with a title. So can you buy a quartz car and somehow use the VIN and title work? I'm not sure how you would go about with that, depending on your state. Jersey, I believe, is pretty rough with that. But that'd be a big part of my budget there. You'd have to address the front end, not having a bumper or grill there. Clean that up a little bit. I did see it still has the old rubber bumper on the back end from the 70s. See if it runs. It should run. The motor looks complete there, and they're relatively simple vehicles to work on. What do you think, Dreamer?
I got to admit, this is a good pick. I mean, I'm not a Midget fan, so I'm probably walking away. But in terms of budget, in terms of completeness, like you said, a lot of great parts. I do know where there's a King Midget where we could just grab the title and pull the VIN. One of our viewers, I believe, has one that we know where he lives. So that's an option as well.
Sure is. I'll tell you, if this was the MGB, slightly bigger, it would probably not make the episode because it would be sold already. I'd probably be sitting in my barn by now. But, anyway, this is my first pick of the week.
Nice. All right. Well, my number 2 pick of the week is a 78 Chevy Blazer coming from Harris, Minnesota. So it's got a little bit of rust, as you would expect. And right around the midpoint of the budget, $2,400. I'm choosing this not because the photos are askew. Again, we talk about this nearly every week. Take a good photo, people. Like, if you have to tilt your head, probably not enticing to anybody that's looking for it. Although in this particular case, you cooked me. I'm ready. I'm in on this one. It's got a lot of upgraded brake parts, Edelbrock intake, a Holley 600 CFM carb. So if you need more breathing on your Midget, let me know. I'll lend it to you. It's got a fuel systems upgrades, shifter. It's got 38-inch super swampers, a Dana 44 front, and you can't quite see it in this photo, but in this one, it's got the hood delete option and exhaust shooting to the moon. So this is set up for pretty much as a mud truck. The passenger or the driver's door doesn't even open, so you've got to figure out how you're getting in. It looks like the front glass there seems to be just siliconed in, but who cares? I mean, pretty simple. It's got a seat that seems in okay shape, which is pretty cool. Another shot of the exhaust stacks there. So again, about midpoint of the budget. What am I doing? I'm going to put a little bit of money into this. I'm heading over to Lowe's. I'm going to get a few cans of Herculiner and roll every surface that I can, interior and out of this thing, just to make it easier to hose the mud out. I'm going to pick up, spend another 30 or so bucks on some exhaust flappers, so I can have a little something to see as I'm driving down the road or through the mud. I'm picking up a roll, at least one roll, maybe two. So 10 or 20 bucks of West Virginia chrome. That's duct tape for everybody else. and I'm going to patch up whatever I need to. And then I'm heading over to the flag store, and I'm going to get myself a custom Hooptie Joyride flag to roll off the back as I'm flying down the trails. And, that's about $200, give or take. And then I'm going to go crazy and spend $300 on a Yeti cooler and just take it out. Have fun. Trail it. Mud it.
I think you're missing one major item, though.
What's that?
You have no wipers to keep the mud off your forehead.
All right.
You need a little budget there to get some paper towels and a dedicated person to wipe your windshield while you're mudding.
Maybe I put in one of those lever operated ones, like on some of the old Jeeps or something. Good point. But I got a little room left to go ahead and do that. So I'm good there. Yep. Cool. I think we're on to your next ride.
All right. So my next ride it's a 1959 Ford Edsel. This is called a Villinger station wagon. It comes from Port St. Lucie, Florida, and we're half our budget, $2,500. This one has all the trim, comes with it. It has a 332 V8 engine in it. There's obviously no air conditioning with this car. The good news is this car runs and drives. However, you would have to spend some of your budget to get brakes because there's no brakes for it. They're inoperable. And it does have a title. She's ready to go. Just bring a trailer and cash. For me, I would take care of the brakes. I believe the passenger side, rear side window is broken. And right there. And, true to the Hooptie Dreamer fashion, so he could relive his high school days with his Buick station wagon with a boom and stereo in it, that you had to decide whether or not you wanted headlights at night or you wanted a stereo because it would blow a fuse if you used them both. So many nights with no headlights in the Dreamer's ride. I would probably add a radio to this so we could relive Dreamer's childhood.
Yeah. Well, if you recall, it wasn't even the radio. We just took some house speakers and wired them directly in. And that's why we off the stock radio. So no amp, no nothing, no sense. And just kept blowing fuses. And by the way, made it home in the dark. So I'm choosing stereo every time.
There you go. So that's our Ford Edsel. Limited 3 years.
Yeah. Got the test light on the engine just in case you need to verify anything.
Yep.
Cool. You know what they call an Edsel, or what they say about them? Nice body, bad grill, just like me. So.
All right.
On that note, since we're dreaming or inducing nightmares, we're going to move on to my next pick. For me, 95 Eagle Talon. I had a 97 Eclipse, so very similar. One of the three, I think Plymouth Laser was the other of the three makes coming out of Diamond Star Motors. Shout out to Illinois. Thanks for your work on these rides at the Diamond Star Motors plant. But this particular one is coming from Duluth, Minnesota, right around $1,600, price to sell under $1,600. And it did ran when parked, as they all do. Says not a whole lot of other information from the seller other than he will help you load it onto your trailer. So that's a kindness. And there is a title available if you need it. So if you're using it for a parts car, I guess he wants to hold on to the title. But overall, this one's clearly, sun faded, clear coat missing, or it's been maybe rattle can sprayed, something of that nature. Seems to be mostly there. Tires are shot, other things of that nature. I'm only in this because if you can see right there down by the rear tire, it says dual overhead cam turbo. That's why I'm in for this. If it turns out not to be a turbo, I'm walking. Sorry, but I'm believing it's a turbo. Interior is in decent shape. It's got leather seats. It's got it's an automatic, so that's a little bit of concern. My Eclipse was a 5-speed, so you could at least get everything, out of these 2.0 motors that you want to. This one is all-wheel drive as well, so that's going to take a little bit of your horsepower away also. But again, hoping it's turbo. Can be a fun ride along those lines. I did a couple quick checks. It looks like it's the turbo motor. Underneath the missing upper rad hose is generally where that sits. It seems to be what's here. It's not a big turbo by any stretch, but for me, if I'm using my budget wisely, I'm going to spend, $1,000 to get it running and driving if it takes that much. And then, splurge for a new set of tires, $500-600. If I can get them on sale, new tires, can always go the used route. So that still leaves me a pretty decent chunk of change for cosmetics, for, any other upgrades, things that I might want to change. So again, because it's all-wheel drive and turbo, just could be a really fun car. Another one that would be interesting to autocross, maybe with some strut bracing on it as well. Just kind of fun. I enjoyed my Eclipse. Had it over legal speed limit a few times, so they can be a little bit of fun. It was downhill in a tailwind.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's this ride. What do you think?
I think they're a neat ride. There's actually a little following out there. It wasn't too long ago. I was talking to father of one of my kids' friends, and we're talking. He found out I was in the cars. He said, "Oh yeah, I have a car collection." I said, "Oh, what do you have in it?" It caught me off guard when the guy told me he had a Mitsubishi Eclipse in his collection, or an Eagle Talon. I don't remember which one it was at this point, but so I didn't know. People like them, and they're still collecting them. Guy's paying for off-site storage for that and another car too. He has. So they're pretty neat cars.
Yeah, they are cool, and you're getting all kind of modern-ish capabilities. Got fuel injection, dual overhead cams, right? You're not messing around with old, too much 50-year-old technology. Right. 30 at this point. So yeah, could be fun. Could be an interesting little project.
Yeah, probably upgrade your timing belt there while you're at.
Might as well. It's staring you in the face. Yep. All right, you're up with your third pick.
All right. So my pick is third pick of the week is 1988 Chevy S10 coming to us from Trenton, New Jersey. Now this one, I picked it just as a sample. It's a $5,000 ask price. So we're at full budget here, and it does need work. So, this doesn't totally fit our criteria. However, this is unique. We don't know which way you're going, coming or going. In Trenton, New Jersey, for those of you who know the Trenton area, they have a famous bridge there that we have at the beginning of our episode here, where Trenton makes and the world takes. So the question is this is from Trenton? We assume it was made in Trenton area. Who's going to be a taker? Are you a taker, Dreamer?
Not me.
Okay, I'm not either.
Not at this budget with needing a motor.
Yes. This particular vehicle needs a motor. You see, it's got some rot down there in the rockers, but it's unique. And that'll bring us to my pick number 3. Again, this one is a 1981 Dodge Aries K car, and it's coming to us from Miami, Florida. $2,000 ask price. This one, again, we don't know if you're coming or going. Depending on the direction you're going, the flames are shooting towards you. This one has a interesting history. It's custom made. Obviously, it was built by a legendary car builder. He was known as Miami's Custom King. His name was Raleigh Fernandez, who used to build custom cars, and he was the builder of this car. It does not run. It's been sitting for 26 years. It does have 2 motors, So for me, it's interesting here because you got a stick shift on the one end, and the other end is a bench seat with an automatic. It looks like bench seat automatic.
Choices for days.
Yes. So for this, what would I do with this car? For me, I'm probably going to just take it, clean it up, and I'm going to use it in front of Larry's limo service. I'm going to clean up the exterior, put a sign on it. Larry's limo, coming or going, we have you covered. And use this as my advertisement for the limo business out back. So
look at you. You've got a career in marketing, my friend.
Yes. I don't. I sure don't. Anyway, that's I had my family, my grandfather had a K car. He had a couple of them over the years. In fact, he turned around, passed one of them down to my parents, and I was newly married and had our first child, and they gave me the car. I had, I don't know, approaching 200,000 miles on it. It was a great car. 2 weeks after I got it, somebody rear-ended it, totaled it, and the insurance company, when they came out to look at it, they swore it had, 50,000 miles. It was so nice inside and all.
That was a nice, clean ride. I remember that.
Was. Yeah, it was a smooth ride for, K car.
Yeah.
So, so that is my number 3 pick of the week. We don't know which way we're going, coming or going.
It's interesting. I still don't know that we've answered the question if 2 heads are better than 1, but I like it. I like how you pulled a mulligan and did it with 2 2-headed cars. That's nice work.
All right. So there's the head of that one staring you down right now.
Nice. Well, all right. That brings us to my ultimate pick of the week. It's a 93 Miata. It is coming to us from West Jordan, Utah, at what I think is a pretty decent budget number, $3,000. And because I've had carts on the mind for quite a while, I've been texting you about them for weeks now, and I finally have found one that I think is appropriate to pick up. Comes with a bunch of spare parts, 2 motors. One is a turbo setup coming out of a parts car. The other is the original 1.6 liter, which I think makes this an NA, because the NB I think was 1.8 liter. Either way, 2 1.6 liters. One's with a turbo. The others had a bunch of machine work. Needs some assembly, but I'm all right with that if everything's been, put together kind of nice. It's got a Kirky seat. It's got an OMP steering wheel. A lot of good parts and stuff on this. So plenty of room. As a reminder, the description will have links to all of these cars. So if you're an interested buyer in any of the areas, go ahead and take a look. Or if you just want to check them out, there's a video of this autocrossing with the original stock motor prior to the motor being pulled. So you can see, just how much fun it would be. Seems to be pretty decent work in terms of the roll cage and everything else. Comes with a custom set of gauges. I like it. But I mean, it's done, right? You got all your basics are covered, and I'm enjoying it. There's the turbo motor that comes with it. And look, got about $2,000 worth of budget left. I'm going to probably take about 1,000 of that, make sure the existing, the stock non-turbo motor, get that assembled, get it working. It does say that it needs a new diff, but it comes with a new diff and axles. So there's some parts I'm sure that'll be required to do it. So for me, it's all about getting it, RDS, running, driving, and stopping. I'm ready to go. And then I've got $1,000 for, some miscellaneous doodads, a fire extinguisher, and a nice set of sticky tires so I can whoop you on the autocross course.
All right. Well, since you want to be a brat about it, I guess let's move forward to my pick of the week. 1983 Subaru Brat, coming to you from Florissant, Colorado. This has a current ask price of $3,200. So it leaves you $1,800 towards the budget. I just see mountains of Colorado. Not a bad looking car. This one says that it starts, it drives. It is 41 years old. He makes a point of that, and they're selling it as is. No reasonable offer. It says make a reasonable offer. Has a clean title. Has new windshield and wiper blades. It has an option of 2-wheel drive or the 4-wheel drive, and it's a manual transmission. It says it starts and runs, drives, but it's best not to drive it because the tires are old. So what would I do? As you see there, it's Hooptie approved again. I would address the tire situation. I would look at see what's going on with that T-top there. It looks like you don't want it leaking on your forehead. So maybe we need to put on some Colorado carbon fiber, which would be black duct tape to fix that if need be. So there are two areas that I can see there. And then also I was thinking about addressing the driver's seat there. It does have a tear. We'll see in one of the photos right there along the side bolster.
You got some carbon fiber left over to fix that, I think.
Yes. So, I think for the $3,200 ask price, and, it says make a reasonable offer. So, there's some room in that. I think tires, dress the T-top. Don't know if under that cap, there's no pictures in there, whether under the cap, there's the old roll bar and the little jump seats they had in the back of those old Brats. They were pretty neat vehicles. So it was pretty cool to find this after 41 years. This car's been sitting around, or, it's 41 years old.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Dreamer?
I like it. I can remember a neighbor had one, back in the 80s, and not only did they have seats in the bed, they had seat belts, so it was street legal to ride around in. At least in New Jersey where we grew up, and it was a lot of fun. It's not the fastest thing in the world, maybe because there's a tire taking up most of the engine bay, but
I'm sure the heat doesn't help the tires. No wonder why they need tires on this thing. If you rotate,
definitely either heating it up to pop or probably dry rotting it. But they're fun rides. I mean, I think they even brought the Brat back for a short period of time in either the 90s or maybe 2000s. They brought a version of this back.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, which is maybe we'll find one of those here in a few years. But I like it. It's a good pick. I'm sticking with my cart because I can guarantee you I'm beating you on the autocross if you're driving this. So
yeah, that is true. But at this point, I'm driving and I'm getting there. You're not.
You'll get a few practice laps under your belt, or a few hundred before I join you. But
I can guarantee you, even with my flat tires, my old tires, I can get around the track before you can push your cart.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Around the course.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I know you've been talking about the carts quite a bit. This past weekend, I was at a show, and they had a Porsche Boxer made into a cart. I sent you a text with a photo of that. So
yep,
got you thinking. So
it's coming one of these days.
To the dreamer barn, not the collector barn.
That's right. Yeah, I think your wife's had enough of me dropping rides off in your driveway for quite a long time.
Yeah, the last one lasted a year out in the middle of the driveway. So
yeah, but turned a profit.
We did, so, yes.
Which is unusual for us. So we're going to continue to claim it anytime we can.
That is true.
Cool.
All right.
These are fun. I mean, it's definitely a lot of options this week, from, old rides from the 50s that, that are just, in my mind, kind of cool, to newer, more modern-ish type things. Lots of choices. So there's a lot of good selections.
Yeah, it's been another great week. Look forward to seeing what we come up with for next week's episode.
It's out there. I mean, there's no, thankfully, right? There's no shortage of hoopties available. We will uncover them. We will find them, and we'll bring them here because we love the junk, and, we want everybody on the Hooptie Joyride.
And as always, give us a comment, a like, subscribe to the page. And if you have any suggestions, send them. We'd love to have your car on here, or your concept of a hoopty that you may know of.
Yeah, definitely. We said it last week, and we've shown it a couple times. If you've got a ride that you think is interesting, we'll find a way to get it in to the show. This has been a blast. I'm really enjoying some of this stuff. I might even reconsider my pick of the week. I don't know. Maybe I want to go mudding. There's swamp buggy races up the street here in Florida, from close to where I'm at. You're grabbing the Blazer and going for a little fun.
There we go.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good. Until next week. Thank you, everybody. And we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Awesome. That's a wrap. Peace.
All right. Bye.